Good morning or good afternoon. Hello and welcome to the Omni Coalition News Show. This is a dive into the weird, obscure, bizarre, in other words for strange, world of notable events, weather, and sports. Covering topics seldomly, if ever, seen from most news sources these days. Join us during a time of political overabundance and divisiveness. We present you with more unifying topics to discuss for the most part. For links to the articles, music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am A.O. Xander, and you are you. Today is Tears' Day, aka Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. It is August, right? Yeah, it is. Alright. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the news, shall we? From Audio Central, city mistakenly tears down man's home, then charges him $68,000 in demolition costs. Alright. Yeah, this ain't gonna stand. Another killdozer situation potentially here. An Atlanta man who lost his house after the city tore it down by mistake is now facing a lawsuit to have the entire property foreclosed unless he pays the $68,000 in demolition costs. What the hell? Like, why? How has this even gotten to this level? Like, this is just evil. Everett Tripode's property in Atlanta's historic West End is now an empty lot, but until a few months ago he actually owned a home there, one that the city demolished without so much as a warning. Technically, they did send out letters notifying the owner that the property had been labeled unfit for habitation, but they sent them to the wrong address in a different zip code about 1.4 miles away. Tripodis and his mother had bought the century-old house as an investment and had been working on remodeling it when the city decided to tear it down. To make matters worse, the city of Atlanta is now suing the owner of the property and threatening to foreclose on the empty land unless he covers the cost of the demolition, $68,000. And they wonder how people are becoming radicalized. You know, I have to send this to Art, like, personally, because he needs to see this. Let's see, here we go. Anyway, yeah, that is just awful, and I really hope that the situation unscrews itself, because this is I can't think of a word powerful enough. Nauseatingly, vomit-inducingly evil. You know? Wow. Just wow. Anyway, let's move on up. What else do we got here? From Audio Central, a boy allowed himself to be bitten by a black widow spider to become Spider-Man. And this is why we should let natural selection take its course. An 8-year-old Bolivian boy ended up in the hospital after allowing himself to be bitten by a dangerous black widow spider in order to become like his favorite superhero, Spider-Man. The incident occurred in the municipality of Vishuloma near the city of Oruro in central Bolivia. The 8-year-old child, whose name has not been revealed by the media, was reportedly playing near a river close to his house when he turned a big rock and discovered a black widow spider. Without realizing the consequences of being bitten by a highly poisonous spider, he grabbed the arachnid and put it on the back of his hand in the hopes of being bitten. He got his wish and then headed home, where he began experiencing symptoms like body aches and intense muscle spasms. Initially, the boy didn't say anything to his mother about the spider bite, but after about 3 hours of agony, he said he had been bitten by a colorful spider. The concerned mother took the child to a healthcare center in a neighboring town, but he was subsequently referred to the Hospital General San Juan de Dios in the city of Oruro as a medical emergency. After hearing about the spider bite, pediatricians there contacted Ernesto Vasquez, head of the Zoonotic Diseases Program of the Departmental Health Service of Oruro, who helped establish what kind of spider had bitten the boy. Yikes. Just, yeah, people need to tell children, like, don't mess with spiders. Anyway, more from Audio Central. Here we go. Somali athlete runs slowest official 100-meter race ever. This is not a record you want to be in. It's reminding me a lot of the whole, like, when Leela was the Bean Master in Blernsball from Futurama. The embarrassing performance of a Somali athlete during the women's 100-meter race at the World University Games in Chengdu, China, prompted a public apology from the African country's sports minister. Wow. It takes an abysmal athletic performance to warrant accusations of defaming the name of the nation in the international arena. But then again, the run of Nasra Abukar Ali during the women's 100-meter race last week has been dubbed as the slowest in an official tournament. In a video that has gone viral on social media, the Somali athlete can be seen starting sluggishly out of the box as other competitors burst forward, and she quickly gets behind so fast that she doesn't even show up on camera following the race. Akbar Ali crossed the finish line 21.81 seconds, more than 8 seconds slower than the second last runner, and more than 10 seconds behind the winner of the race. Wow. It comes down to that close. 2 seconds between the winner overall and the last place. Well, except for this molasses person. Yeah, that's I'm not gonna make fun of her. She's embarrassed enough. Like, that's just sad. But I hope she gets her act together and really trains hard and does better next time if she's allowed next time. Anyway, let's move on up here. More from Audio Central. Toyota Land Cruiser drove 7 kilometers. Why can't my brain not working? Toyota Land Cruiser drove 7 kilometers underwater, set a new world record. And I think my brain was malfunctioning because there's the next word, underwater. Like, things weren't computing. My brain was just shutting down. Like, no, this doesn't mix. A group of car enthusiasts in Australia recently drove a 1978 Toyota Land Cruiser 7 kilometers on the bottom of the ocean, setting a new world record for the longest underwater drive. On the morning of July 29th, a bright orange Toyota Land Cruiser drove into the northern Australian Sea to the cheers of dozens gathered at Mandorah Beach for a historic attempt. The 1978 Rust Bucket had been bought online by a group of friends for around $5,000 and converted into an insulated electric vehicle able to drive underwater at depths of several meters. Dubbed the Mud Crab, the old short wheelbase four-wheel drive buggy was meant to cover a distance of 4.3 miles or 7 kilometers between Mandorah Beach and Darwin Harbor, and thus set a new world record for the longest distance covered by a car driven underwater. Wow. The team, made up of a number of mechanical engineers and drivers, started by converting the old Toyota into an electrical-powered vehicle. Then, to improve the already waterproof nature of the driveline, all components were further insulated with silicone oil. This way, if water should find its way inside the driveline, the oil would leak out and protect the internal components. Next, the conventional tires were swapped out for 2 pairs of Maxxis Trepador that could handle the sandy ocean floor. Only they could not be filled with air, as they would provide too much buoyancy. They are filled with water instead, causing their weight to reach 150 kilograms each. Although they were confident the powertrain could handle the pressure, they only tested the car once in salt water before attempting the world's longest underwater drive. So yeah, here's the car. That's really cool. Like, we see it underwater here. It looks like the hood is off. But they have a video here. Let's turn off that. Yeah, they're in breathing scuba equipment, kind of. Look at that. They're driving underwater. It looks like the hood is on here, so I wonder why the hood was off in that one photo. But that's cool. Anyway, we gotta keep on going here. A family tries to survive off the grid using YouTube tutorials and fails. Yeah, because you gotta go beyond YouTube tutorials. 2 women and a teenage boy were found dead. Oh, okay, well, this is sad. After they ventured into the mountains to live off the grid using only knowledge from YouTube tutorials. The partially mummified bodies of 42-year-old Rebecca Becky Vance, her 14-year-old son, and her sister Christine at the age of 41 were recently discovered by a hiker at a campsite in Gunnison National Forest. Last summer, Becky had convinced her son and her sister to go live off the grid in the wilderness, disconnected from a society that she no longer felt they belonged to. Unfortunately, despite having watched hours of off-grid survival videos on YouTube and on TV, they had very little experience in outdoor survival and did not really prepare enough before venturing into the wilderness. When they were discovered, they had not managed to build a shelter other than a tent and had little more than canned food and ramen noodles for supplies. Wow, that's really sad. That's really sad, but, I mean, you know, natural selection, I'm sorry. Like, you know, you just gotta just learn more than just from television and YouTube. Like, you gotta, go out, go camping, and such. Like, you know, practice for a couple of years and, you know, build up to it. Don't just right off the grid. You know, that's a shock. You gotta get experience. So, anyway, let's move on up here. More from UBI. Teen on roller skates flips over 12 people at once to break world record. Wow. A 15-year-old roller skater, roller skating wonder kid, flipped over 12 people and landed safely to break a Guinness World Record. The announced California teen Mia Peterson landed the title for the most people. Barani flipped over from a quarter pipe on roller skates for female when she executed her signature trick at Laguna Niguel skate park. Mia said she first strapped on roller skates during a family trip to a roller rink at age 11 and started attempting half-pipe tricks at the age of 13. Oh, here's a video of it, so let's check this out. Whoa! Damn, that's impressive. That is very impressive. Good show. Excellent. Moving on up to UPI, authorities warn of 3 cows on the loose in Connecticut. I know at least one person who lives in that state, and he better keep his eye out. Animal control officials in Connecticut are asking the public not to approach 3 cows that have been on the move since busting through a fence. Burlington and Canton Animal Control said the owner of the Black Angus cattle was attempting to load the animals into a trailer when they broke through a fence and fled into the Burlington area. Animal Control warned the public about the escape artist on social media, urging any witness to not approach the cows. Residents are instead being asked to contact Animal Control or the Burlington Police Department. So yeah, if you're in Connecticut and you see 3 black cows or even 1 black cow or any number of black cows, just out there on the loose, yeah, let the authorities know, and do not approach them. You know, these are still, you know, animals, and they might charge, and you will not win a fight against a cow. So, anyway, moving on up, more from UPI. Lights in Australian sky believed to be from a Russian rocket. Alright. The Australian Space Agency said bright lights in the night sky over the southeastern part of the country were most likely from the remains of a Russian rocket. Reports came in overnight of lights streaking across the sky in Victoria and Tasmania, and the Australian Space Agency said the lights were not believed to have been caused by meteors. So, and they have a video here. Oh, wow. Huh. Okay, well that's pretty big. So what, is that like a rocket burning up in atmosphere on re-entry or something? What's going on? Because it looks like it's breaking apart. Like that one, yeah, there's chunks of it. Oh. The agency said it was informed by Russian authorities that remnants of the rocket were projected to re-enter the atmosphere off the Tasmanian coast. So there you go. Alright, so it is burning up in re-entry. Alright. Moving on up, more from UPI. California carpool lane driver's passenger was a disguised mannequin. I have thought about doing this myself so much, I'm not going to lie. But somebody actually did it. You absolute mad lad. A California driver was pulled over by a Bay Area highway, a patrol person, or on a Bay Area highway after being spotted using a carpool lane while their only passenger was a mannequin dressed in a hat and sunglasses. CHP Marin posted a photo to its Facebook story showing the mannequin in the backseat of a car while dressed in a straw hat, sunglasses, facial hair, overalls, and a shirt that gave the illusion of sleeve and torso tattoos. Huh. Yeah, they have a little video here about it. Check that out. That's hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious. Huh. Wow. The cojones on this guy. The carpool violation carries a $490 fine, California Highway Patrol said. So, dang. Let's see, Hank the Tank. The bear behind 21 home invasions has been captured near Lake Tahoe. Here we go. A large black bear who is believed to be a notorious bandit and a hungry, uninvited house guest was apprehended by wildlife biologists on Friday. Authorities in the town of South Lake Tahoe in California have been on the lookout for exceptionally large animals since February of 2022, after they reported that one single male bear had been the cause of 152 reports of conflict behavior, including 28 home break-ins. They referred to the animal as Hank the Tank, setting off the internet's affection. But it turns out those initial assessments, based solely on visual information, were conflating 3 bears with a similar pattern of behavior and incorrectly assuming that all of the bears were male. DNA testing confirmed that the bear captured on Friday, who is formerly known as Bear 64F, was a female behind at least 21 cases of breaking and entering. Okay. What's more, she was trespassing with 3 young cubs in tow, according to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, CDFW. These agency typically euthanizes so-called conflict bears due to the significant risks they pose to the community, but Bear 64F is no ordinary conflict bear. There are more homes that were vandalized in the ritzy waterfront community of Tahoe Keys, about 100 miles east of Sacramento, the more the public came to the defense of Hank the Tank, blaming the bear's behavior on unsecured garbage cans and habitat encroachment. So for further reading on this, please refer to the underbar description below. I'd love to read more on this, but they did all the work. I'm just reading it for you to spark interest. Go give them the foot traffic. We got to move on up here to NPR. Carly Russell says she lied about seeing a lost child and being abducted. I heard something about this, but I don't really care. But let's just read these paragraphs here. Carly Russell, the Alabama woman who went missing for 2 days after telling 911 that she found a stranded toddler, has admitted that she was not kidnapped and did not see a young child on the side of the highway. In a statement given by Russell's attorney to the Hoover Police Department, the 25-year-old apologized for her actions, adding that no one else was involved in her disappearance. Russell was initially expected to meet with the police earlier that day. Instead, her attorney, Anne-Marie Anthony, gave the department a written update. It remains unclear why Russell fabricated a story of a stranded child, as well as why she went off the radar for 2 days. So, yeah. Anybody who knows anything about this, here you go, another link. Go check it out. As I said, people all over the world are just going absolutely nuts. So anything involving people lying, I'm just I just don't care anymore. Everybody's lying, especially the government. It's just gone completely and totally out of control. So anyway, and that's about it. I'm not going to cover this again because I pulled this up to show to Artemisia. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Please go check the underbar for any links you may be interested in, including but unlimited to all things Omni Coalition, for your dose of different, odd, and unusual news. We stream every Tuesday and Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time, which is 4 Mountain, 5 Central, and 6 Eastern Standard Time, respectively. Until you catch us next Friday, or if you're interested in some history, we have a history show every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time. Until you see us next time, until then, whenever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!